Welcome back to Leadership Across the Table. My name is Emma McDermott. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Beacon Legacy Group. And today we actually have our star guest this morning, Victoria Lannom, CEO and co-founder of Beacon Legacy Group. And so today she's actually going to be sharing with us her role as an attorney, founder, and mother today. So Victoria, why don't you go ahead and tell us all about Beacon Legacy Group?
Yeah, thank you, Emma. So we actually first started as Lannom Law. Mm-hmm. You know that. That's where you worked before Beacon Legacy Group, of course. I founded Lannom Law by myself. Mm-hmm. About a year into Lannom Law, Tyler was able to join the firm, and we kind of grew from there. Mm-hmm. About a year ago or so, we started thinking about our name, Lannom Law, and just for our wishes for the future and what we kind of wanted it to grow into. And we decided that maybe we should rebrand. Yeah. Lannom Law meant a lot to us, but we wanted a company that was beyond us, that our team could be proud of, that our everything about our organization, that someone felt like that was part of them as well. Mm-hmm. And so that was where the idea of Beacon Legacy Group came from. We started kind of thinking about, what would we name it and what would we do? And rebranding is actually a little bit harder than you would think, as you will know. Most people don't understand what goes into rebranding. As a huge part of our rebranding. You obviously know that better than anyone else.
Definitely. I know it took us months just in advance to get to the idea of becoming Beacon Legacy Group, and then, finding out all of the added expenses that go along with that. So that was definitely a journey for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we decided to come into Beacon Legacy Group. We, of course, have our same team as we did for Lannom Law, but we have a lot of ideas for growth in the future, and Beacon Legacy Group is going to help us do that.
That's great. And I know that your role as an attorney, you have been wanting to do estate planning pretty much, ever since I've known you. You always wanted to do estate planning. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came into wanting to do that as a practice that we do as one of our services here?
Yeah, so it kind of started with my grandparents. Yeah. When I was very young, they approached me one day and said that, you're going to be executor of my estate. And I was like, thank you. That's so nice. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
And so from there, that was prior to me going to law school, of course. Yeah. And so from there on out, I was like, well, I got to figure out one day I'm going to have to know what this means, and I have to make them proud. And, it's been a long journey. Mm-hmm. Trying to figure that out is kind of what sent me to this area of law. And once I got in here, I was like, wow, estate planning can make such a difference in clients' lives. And it's non-adversarial, which I like that most of the time. Mm-hmm. If you can get the documents right and do things on the front end, it cuts down on families breaking up after someone's passed away. Yeah. Sometimes I think every family has that glue, that one person that kind of glues the family together. And when you lose that person, I think it's most of our clients' hope that their family doesn't fall apart when they're not here, and that they can continue on. And so that to me is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to help clients find that glue to help their families continue on even without them here.
And speaking of family, I know that for my parents, they have a little bit of trouble wanting to get this done for themselves. And I know for a lot of families that's a hard issue to even come to terms with. Death is something nobody wants to even think about. And so how do you help your clients know that estate planning is something that needs to be done for themselves and their families? How do you have that conversation with them within that first meeting?
Yeah, so, if someone's made it to our table, I think that conversation is a little bit easier to have because they know they want this. They're just not sure what they want.
Right.
So I think it's, letting them talk a little bit about what they know is going on, and then trying to see if the issues they think they're going to be facing are the actual issues they need to worry about, or if there's something maybe they don't even see coming that they need to focus in on. Mm-hmm. So I think every client, we kind of have that conversation and bring them on a journey with our firm and let us help lead them down to find those right resolutions. Mm-hmm. I think more so we do workshops in the community, and I think that's where we really let people know if this is something they need to be concerned with, if this is something that's a good fit for them. And I think that's a much less intimidating place where clients can go and kind of find out, what estate planning even is, what does that entail, when did these documents help? When do you not need them? And kind of get an overview of an idea, and then come have a consult with us after that.
Right. And I think that's such a great idea, just to get the word out in the community about this as well. And to let people know who we are, where we're at, so that they know to find us and that we can help them out with that. I think that is so cool. And I know that you're a mother. You have 2 amazing children. They're adorable. And so how does your role as a mother play into you being an attorney and also business owner as well?
Yeah, so I work a lot, and when I'm not actually working, I'm working at home with the kids.
Yeah.
It's just I am busy all the time. There's not much break or things on my calendar where I don't need to fill. They're always filled, but it's wonderful. I think that being a mother certainly helps me understand my clients more. And, I started doing estate planning before I was a mother. Now I have 2 kids. I can certainly see how that changes a person and how it makes you realize, like, picking a guardian if you're not here.
Yeah.
Like, I understood that before, but until you're having to make that decision for your own child, you don't really get it.
Right.
And so that is a unbelievable decision that sometimes clients are blessed enough to know exactly who they want that person to be. And other times they may wait 4 to 5 months to reach a determination before they can even finish their estate planning documents, because it is such a huge decision.
Oh, for sure. And like I said before, nobody wants to have those discussions. I mean, they're in that spot. They know that this needs to be done, but it doesn't make it any less emotional to have to go through all the situations that could possibly happen. And to think of your family member going through that, like, that's tough.
It is tough.
And so I don't know, what resources do you have and that your firm offers for people who do have that difficult time of knowing what they want out of that?
So I think the best resource we have is we do a design meeting where we thoroughly go through. That's where we really dive in deep to what our clients are needing, what they want, what their estate plan is going to look like. And that's where we usually will figure out they don't know who the agents are going to be.
Yeah.
So that's when I think most of the time I'll give them options. So we'll start with a conversation. Sometimes that's a little bit overwhelming for a client. So they may need to take a break. Let's get all the information they know in that first meeting.
Yeah.
And then I might send them up a follow-up email. The greatest thing I think that clients have told me in the past that they really appreciate is that I can give them suggestions. Like, we can walk through different options, and it's not like, we just have to do this thing or we can only look at it this way. I think every case is different. Every client's family circumstances are different. And so just figuring that out for them, what's going to be the best fit. It also making sure if we're representing a couple that they're both aligned, because they may both want different people. Yeah. So helping families get together and compromise and reach that decision. I think it's mostly through conversations, but also just through case studies and, also being real and personal with them and telling them things Tyler and I have talked about or discussed or, difficulties we've had with our own family making this decision. That has always been able to make clients feel like it's a little bit of, it's okay. It's all going to be okay.
Well, and you're real people. And I think that that stereotype of being an attorney, it has this really bad taste in your mouth of you're pretty intimidating. That's very much the standard for being an attorney. And so I think them seeing the side to you guys of having a family, knowing what, they're going through, stuff like that, that really can help that conversation go well too.
I think so. I was once told by a client that they were able to take a breath of fresh air when I walked in the room. They were like, I was so nervous to meet with you. And you made me feel a lot better. And that's always stuck with me because I'm probably, as you know, the least intimidating person ever. But I know, even for me, there are certain attorneys that are a little bit more intimidating, but we always try to make sure people know, we are humans too.
Yeah. We
are parents. I'm a granddaughter. I'm a daughter, a sister, different things to where I do understand. I think also, sometimes when clients come in, they're having to tell us everything about their family, secrets that have been buried in families that aren't really the most pleasant to have to tell someone about. And to be honest, every family's got something. I am shocked if I ever come across a family that doesn't have something going on somewhere.
There's no picture perfect family.
There's not. There's just not. And if so, that's wonderful. Yeah. But we've heard it all. We've seen it all. It's life. You know, it gets messy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I think that's my favorite part, is when there is something and I'm able to like reach a solution. It just, that makes a difference.
Right. What is a good way for people to contact your firm, and how do they get in for consultation with you guys?
Yeah, so a couple different options depending on what they need. They can always check out our website, beaconlegacygroup.com. It has pretty much all the information for upcoming workshops. We also have a great Facebook page ran by you.
There we go.
And so, you know, sending people to the Facebook page, I know you keep it updated with, once again, all of our events.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on with the firm. That's probably the first place to look to find it. And then also just calling the firm, and we can kind of direct you depending on what type of, if you're needing probate, conservatorship, estate planning, we can send you in the right direction.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tori. We really appreciate you taking the time out.
So. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.